If you have those name cards, I am still learning. I suck, but like if you could get them out, that'd be awesome. All right, Andrew Aragones is online. Tyler, Michael, Dylan Dion, right?
Yep.
Yep. Zach, Cody, not yet. Abigail, Gary, not yet. Okay, good. Mackay, no. Jen. Evan, I think, is gonna be online as well. Just admit all. Okay, so looks like Cody is on. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Cody. Let's see. Cody is present online. Dylan Tyler is online. Evan, not yet. Michelle is here. Nicholas, no. Michike, no. Nicholas, Michike. It's not yet. Shane Roberts. Connor Rowe, no Connor. Oh, Sophia, there you are. I have two Sophias this semester. Yeah. And Sophia, not Sophie. Tricky. Gabe is here. Dylan Tyler, present online. Tori is here. All right. All right. Happy Friday of our second week. Hello to Zoom people. I will try to do my best. I'm not always great at the Zoom hybrid thing in person on Zoom. I'll see what I can do. This is the last day I'm allowed to offer a Zoom link. So from here on out, try to be here. Cool? Okay. I have a handout for you. For those of you who are online, your handout is on Canvas. On today's day. So go to Canvas, go to today. And your handout will be there. This is the place for you to take notes, as always. A little bit about what's coming up, okay? All right, so we did the welcome. We did a whole day where we talked about, what are some of the characteristics of anti-heroes. We kind of did a deep dive into definitions. Last class, we talked about a good man is hard to find. And today we're talking about Leon. For next class, you're reading another short story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 of you. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you so much. Okay. This is online as well, but hard copies are always good. And I figured I should give you a hard copy before it's due so you could actually glance at it before we talk about it in class. All right. So that's coming around. That's for Tuesday. Next time we meet, that's for Tuesday. Okay. So you can get it and then put it away. I will just forget about passing it out if I don't give it to you now. Okay. So for Tuesday, we're doing welcome here before you leave. And you are Connor. Welcome, Connor. All right. All right. So one short story for next time, and then we're gonna talk about how to build your papers, all right? And we're gonna kind of start talking about paper one. What goes into a college paper? How should they be structured? Yeah, that should be 11. We need one? Yeah. Okay, now.
That movie was crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. And you can write about it for paper one, as well as any of the short stories, okay? All right, so here we go. All right. This is not my best effort for a PowerPoint, to be honest. But I was like doing research about the movie and stuff like that, and like looking things up, and like, so the PowerPoint suffered a bit, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. All right, so today we're talking about Leon the Professional. Come on, you can do it. All right. Anyone have trouble getting it? Hopefully not, because it's also on Netflix, thankfully. Speaking of, I forgot, but I should probably. Let's see. You guys can see what I watch, right? Look at all that. All right, that's my list. Let's see. I watched it on this because the subtitles were a little off. Yeah. We'll watch a couple clips. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. Throughout class, not right now. Okay. All right. Sorry. Get myself settled. Okay, welcome to Friday. We're gonna talk about Leon. In France, it was called Leon. In America, it was released as The Professional. Generally, we call it Leon the Professional now. All right. Quick review. Hello and welcome. Anyone got? Oh, Gabe is amazing. Sorry, I should bring some. Here, Gary. Or you? That's
Why am I late?
well.
You want honest truth?
No, I didn't say why you're. I didn't ask. No, I didn't want. No, no. I didn't even ask. I promise.
I'm sorry.
I said, here, have some stuff. All right. To review. Analysis. I have too many computers happening. We're going to kind of continue to review the stuff that we've looked at so that we can kind of make sure it's really embedded in our mind, as well as, so we're going to continue to review analysis, why it's good and what it is and what to avoid. But we're also going to start building on this, okay? So this is what it is. This is what to avoid. We're also going to add in more specifics about what to do. Okay, so I told you what not to do. Let's talk about what you can do instead. Make sense? All right. Ways of reading and seeing that make writing easier when it comes time to write. Okay. So remember, what is analysis? Anyone want to kind of take a stab? What is analysis? In your own words, go ahead, Gary. Brave man.
A deep.
Yep. It's diving deep. It's digging
Diving
deep.
deep and getting information.
Breaking down complex information. Good. So it helps you get a better understanding by diving deep and breaking down information. It's good because it gives you more stuff to work with. It gets you to respect, complexity and account for complexity. It helps you think deeper. Good. And finally, how should we do it? I already sort of said it a bunch of times. Break important piece down to relate it to the whole. Okay. All right. What do you remember about what not to do? We talked about these last class. These are things that are called in the book that I'm suggesting you. I'm only is only recommended. I'm not making you read it, but in the book they call these counterproductive habits of mind. Basically, they're traps, writing traps. Okay. What are some things you got to avoid?
Distractions.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But this is not exactly something we talked about yesterday or Tuesday.
Like
Tyler.
being too shallow in your analysis.
Yeah, it's kind of taking first impressions, right? So you got to kind of question those first impressions. Do you remember what that's called, anyone? Especially if like you're like, oh, this is terrible. Or I think it was, is it Dylan who's talked about the movie? And you were like, that movie is, I can't remember. What did you say it was?
Crazy.
Crazy. Yes. Okay, good. Excellent. Good. If he stopped there, if Dylan had stopped there, which obviously he's not because he's the star student, right? If he stopped there, that would be, what are you saying, Shelley?
You rely on cliches, things like that.
Yeah. So he like the judgment reflex, remember? When you kind of leap to kind of judging whether this is good or bad or dumb or amazing, and broad generalizations without really kind of questioning your first impressions. Good? Okay. Another one is to over-personalize or assume that you already have the answer and that everyone else already thinks the way you do, and thus you don't need to share your thinking. This is something you got to avoid. Okay. Anyone want to kind of throw out another one? So we have the judgment reflex, over-personalizing, stereotyping. Yes. In other words, generalizing, stereotype or generalize. A stereotype is a kind of generalization, right? Where you kind of assume something to be true of everyone because of their type, right? So generalize, you give broad overview or abstract ideas without really concrete details. Okay, good. All right. And the last one, slot filler, which is another word for? Five paragraph essay. Why should we avoid a 5-paragraph essay? Because we were in college and it's probably not going to be appropriate for every assignment, right? And, you know, a lot of times for a 5-paragraph essay, you just make a list, right? It's a glorified list. And lists are a good solid first step, but again, they're not enough. All of these can be helpful as long as you don't stop there, right? You fix all of these by kind of questioning, asking, okay, why or how, okay? Instead of just what, why, or how. And then kind of like questioning and looking at the details, looking at the evidence, examining the evidence and re-examining the evidence, okay? So what can you do instead? If you're gonna avoid those things, what can you do instead? One thing is called notice and focus, and that's the first of these, right? What are some steps you should take when you're practicing notice and focus, all right? I really think this is a really helpful first tool. All right, what do you think you should notice while you're reading or watching a movie? What should you notice?
Main characters, like the storyline.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can even just say like, okay, what do I notice about this character, right? What do I notice about the storyline? It's kind of like you're supposed to notice, slow down so that you can notice instead of just watching for entertainment, slow down so you can notice things. And ask what you notice that is, you know, weird. Anything make you feel weird? Anything strike you as weird? Anything make you feel kind of uncomfortable? Is there anything that seems interesting? Okay. I mean, I've made a career out of like, this is weird as shit and I need to talk about it, right? This is where a lot of college classes start. This is weird. This is strange. It's interesting. We got to figure it out. Okay. All right. So notice stuff that seems strange. Notice stuff that seems weird. Notice stuff that seems interesting or surprising or that seems important, even if you're not sure why it's important. Okay. And then once you've noticed a bunch of those, once you've kind of read a short story and you notice all kinds of different things, or watched a movie and you notice all kinds of things that are strange and weird, which of those things seems most important? All right. Okay, so you kind of figure out, you know, of those things that you've noticed, what seems important, what can you talk the most about? And then say why the thing is interesting by describing it in your own words and what is unexpected about it. This is such a helpful tool. This is so good to help you is to get started with writing. And it's a way to kind of think about a paper before you actually sit down and face that blank screen. That makes sense? I remember my mind being blown in college. I was like, oh, if you think about your paper beforehand, it's so much easier to sit down and write it. I was like, mind blown. It seems so obvious, but so often we don't think about anything, and then we're like, okay, I have this thing to do tomorrow, and then you sit down at the blank screen, and the blank screen with the cursor is just like blinking at you, like, what, and you're kind of like, I don't know. Like, I've had that kind of writing experience. If you think about it beforehand, if you have stuff that you notice, this makes writing so much easier. Okay, all right. And easy writing, writing that comes easy, is better writing, right? When you're not struggling for every sentence. Okay. All right. You can also do free writing. You guys have probably heard of free writing before. What's free writing? Anyone want to kind of writing off the dome?
Yeah.
Yes. In other words, writing just kind of without worrying about turning it in, right? Without worrying about grammar or sentence or whether it makes sense. You just try to write without stopping, off the top of your head, right? It really is good because it gives you some freedom. You don't have to worry about whether this makes sense, right? You just have to worry about getting some words down on the page that could potentially be helpful. You don't really have to produce anything formal. You don't have to worry about format or grammar or any of these kind of formal things that might give you writing paralysis, right? Or writing anxiety. You don't have to worry about that when it's free writing. This is for you, and it can only be helpful, right? So it's free writing is freeing, ironically, right? All right. It can also really be helpful to help you discover new things. When you free write, however, oh yeah, and here's one other thing. It can help you tune out the nasty voices of criticism. All of us have some writing trauma, myself included. All of us have had a really bad experience with writing, I assume. And if you haven't, good, you're like the 1% of the world, the 0.01%, right? If you've done any writing for school, you've had some kind of trauma. You've been traumatized. And now you're like weirded out by writing, like usually in a particular way. Free writing can help free you from that, right? Okay. I remember my freshman year of high school, my teacher, she looked at my essay and she was like, Erin, can I show this to the class? And I, thinking I was just so brilliant, you know, as a little 14-year-old, I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead and show it to the class. She made an overhead projection of it, put it up, and proceeded to destroy it. She didn't take my name off it either. And I remember the other section, they were like, Erin, Mrs. D really kind of tore apart your paper. And I was like, yeah, I was not ready for that, right? And so everyone's got some kind of trauma from writing. Free writing can help, okay? All right. It lets us create and get ideas without worrying about revising, editing, or organizing. So rules for free writing. You got to start somewhere specific. It's best if you kind of look at a particular scene from Leon, or a particular line or two from A Good Man Is Hard to Find, or a particular line or two from the definitions, all right? Start somewhere specific. And this will help keep your free writing specific, help you avoid the generalization writing trap, okay? Where you kind of run out of stuff to say, okay? All right, so start somewhere specific. It helps even to write it at the top of your paper. So maybe there's a particular quote from Leon, and you write it at the top of your paper. And then when you get stuck, you can go back to that quote or back to that scene, okay? All right. You have to commit a certain amount of time and try to write without stopping. They say in the book, 10 minutes is best as a minimum. Can you imagine writing for 10 minutes without stopping? You gotta dig deep there, right? Yeah. All right, so you have to commit a lot of time, 10 minutes best, and you can spend up to a half hour, okay? And you just write without stopping about everything you can remember about the topic. Remember, analysis is topic focused. So it's not what this made you think of, and this reminded me of this time I went fishing last summer. It's got to be about the topic. All right. And then keep writing, keep your pen moving. Try not to reread, try not to correct things, try not to cross things out. Don't quit when you run out of things to say. Try to find something more, okay? And we'll practice doing this throughout the rest of the semester. Good? Good. All right, so those are our two kinds of questions. This can help with the free writing thing. It can help with all of your writing. You've noticed something. You've noticed something strange. You've written about it for 10 minutes. What you notice, why you think it's strange, what might be strange about it. Here's one interpretation of why it's strange. Here's another. Don't forget to ask this. And it can get you a lot more to say. So what? Why is it important? The so what question helps you move from facts or details or data to what it means. Okay. To why it is important. All right, you're taking information that's super dense, slowly spreading it out to see what it means for others, and then making your own call about what's important or what it can teach us. That's what analysis is. That's what you'll be doing in your paper. Good? Good. Let's talk about the film. I thought it might be fun to watch the trailer. Cool? I know Dylan's like ready to talk about it. It might be cool to watch the trailer. Remember, it's from 1994, so it's like close to 30 years old now. I know, right?
Comes to town every Tuesday. Are you free Tuesday? Yeah, I'm free Tuesday. Stop. What you can't see. This guy came from the outside. It was a problem. It was fast. It got him killed. Leon was the master. Somebody's coming up. He never missed a hit. Drop the one bullet slide off and you play with him. Never had a reason to care. Until now. I like these scarred little moments before the storm.
My family was shut down by DEA officers.
3 kids here. One of them is missing. The director of La Femme Nikita.
Don't help me, I'll die tonight.
An innocent girl with no one else to turn to.
What exactly do you do for a living? You're a hitman? When I get those dirtbags who killed my brother.
Someone to finally believe in. They're about to come face to face with the cop who's crossed.
So this was for American audiences, so it's called The Professional. All right. All right, what did you think? Want to start us though?
Killed a lot of people.
He's super good at killing, right? Okay, so I have kind of like on my slides right now, I only have kind of like questions, not answers, which probably is the way I should always do it, right? Okay, so what traits does Leon exhibit that are traditionally bad, corrupt, evil, or villainous? All right, so first off, we got assassin? What kind of assassin? Leon. So he assassin, to be kind, there's a lot of S's in assassin. That's right. Let's not add anything else. Assassin, hitman, kills for money. Right? People he doesn't know, kills strangers for money, kills strangers for money. What else? What else? He's very good. Yes, he's really good at it. He's never been caught. They say even in the trailer, you can't fight what you can't see. Leon is kind of very, very good at kind of moving in and out of the shadows, right? In the very first scene, he's assassin. He's very good. And he's so good at it that he kind of takes on a mythical or monstrous status. Monstrous. Look at, where are my notes? Oh, where are you notes? Where are you notes? They're somewhere. Oh, there they are. Okay. So in kind of the introduction to Leon, so he's going after this guy. What do you think? He just kind of appears out of the shadow after taking out this guy's whole team, right? Of like how many people? Gotta be more than 5, right? There's 5 just on the balcony, right? Does that make sense? There's 1, there's Tonto at the beginning, there's 2, there's 3, I don't, it's like close to 10 people, I would say, right? So single-handedly, he takes out close to 10 people. Not only this, he tells them he's coming, right? He goes up right to the front door, tells them he's coming, and then proceeds to take them all out, even though they're all ready for him, right? He's very good. Takes out around 10 professional criminals who know he's coming. Okay. Also here, he appears out of the shadows with a knife, right? He likes his kills to be up close and personal, right?
I think he was brainwashed.
I think so. I think so too, in a lot of ways, or at least constrained by his social situation, right? All right, good. All right.
I got half of Bolivia sitting in the suitcases over here. Ain't even cut yet. We're gonna take cheers.
I all this number.
I'll talk to you later, sweetie. Okay? Bye.
Oh,
It's Maurizio. Remember me? I see you're back in town.
yeah. No, I mean, no. Just for today.
So it's safe to say today's your last day in town and we'll never see your fat fucking face again.
Yeah. Right.
Let me speak to a mutual friend.
He wants to talk to you.
Yes. Make sure he understands and let it go. Do you understand? So say
I understand.
good.
All right, tell me about this scene. What do you think? do you think? What do you notice? What do you notice that's strange, interesting, revealing? What was unexpected?
He does what he's told to.
He does what he's told to.
doesn't
Or
kill.
Shelley?
He doesn't kill.
Yeah, like he actually seems to like, he doesn't get off on killing. He's just very good at it, right? So maybe some of the stuff, like he doesn't kill for no reason, right? It's okay. Doesn't kill for no reason. He follows directions, right? Whoops. Ugh. I don't know if that should be go over here or not, right? But I'm just gonna put it over here. Follows directions. Remember, he tries. Okay, so this guy, some people call him the fat bastard. He doesn't really get a name. But this guy, what's he got over there? Why is he even in this hotel room? Drugs. And he says, I got half of Bolivia sitting over there, which is some kind of weird 90s reference that I don't remember what it means. But anyway, he's like trying to buy him off with drugs. Does Leon go for it? No, he can't be bought, right? And so he's obviously like not in it for like, he's not just in it for money, so can't be bought. He's not a total opportunist. Good. Let's see, what else do I got here? All right, so I have that he's almost superhumanly good at killing. It really kind of stretches the boundaries of believable for us, I feel like. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. He's superhumanly good at killing. What else kind of makes him maybe not so hot? Not a great guy. Even just stuff you notice from the trailer. He doesn't seem to feel remorse, or I'm gonna put remorse up here. Actually, I'm gonna put remorse over here, honestly. Right? Because initially he doesn't seem to feel it, but then Matilda shows up, right? And then it's not really clear if he does or doesn't. And Shelley, the reason I'm saying that is like, so he goes and he kills all these guys. La la la. We're gonna skip that for now. All right, here he is at home. What is his life like? Bored, sad, depressing. I mean, it's not boring because he kills everyone, but then he goes back. Let's expand on sad, yeah.
Besides the killing,
He looks pathetic afterwards.
Sad and pathetic? Tell me about why it's pathetic.
Like, you just went and killed all these people, and then you're gonna go home and contemplate over a cup of milk.
He drinks milk. It's ridiculous how much milk that he drinks in this film, right?
He
Right?
drinks a lot of milk.
It's really silly. It's really silly, okay? So instead of like going out and getting drunk, he goes home alone,
Showers. Drinks a
showers,
cup of
Sits
milk.
in the dark.
Waters
sits in the
his
dark,
plants,
waters his plants, irons his clothes,
and then sits on the couch.
sits in the dark. Yes, all right. Sits in the dark. And also let's talk about his apartment,
With his sunglasses on too.
right?
Seems lonely.
He seems lonely, right? Sad, pathetic. I'm gonna put isolated, lonely, and loner, right? Is his apartment a nice place?
It seems nice for one of these.
Is it?
Looks like it's New York City.
It is New York City, in Little Italy, yeah, but I don't know.
That's not a nice apartment in New York City.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a studio.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because like a lot of this film was filmed in Paris. And then like only like the stuff that's obviously New York was shot in New York. So it's got a weird kind of feel to it. But he sits in the dark. I think we're supposed to think that it's kind of a crappy apartment. Especially because he lives next to this family who is obviously kind of not a lot of money, right? Right? So he sits in the dark in kind of a crappy apartment. Waters his plant. By the way, what's his plant? He says this later in the film. His plant is his. Says it's his best friend.
I've never seen somebody like wipe the leaves.
I know, me neither. Like it must be a French thing. It must be a French thing. He's supposed to be Italian, but he's like, come on. It's like such a crazy French accent. All right, so he waters his plant, which is his best friend. All right. Sits in the dark and drinks milk. Why do you think, what do you think of him so far? So like, I mean, he's kind of alone in the shower. He doesn't have a happy life. So like, that's why I think about the remorse thing. Tilly said maybe he doesn't feel remorse. But like, it's the, you could read it as remorse or you could read it as just pathetic. And you kind of, you got to line up the evidence, but either interpretation could work. Okay. All right. All right. So Leon, I have that he is, all right. He's almost superhumanly good at killing. He's in the shower. He seems unhappy and alone. I also put lost. You get the feeling that he's kind of lost. How old do you think Leon is? Was that
50s.
50s?
Said 40-something.
40s? 40s? All right. Loner. Lost. I meant to like look up how old Jean Reno was when he made this movie. Anyone want to look that up for us real quick? Anyone want to look it up for us? How old was Jean Reno in Leon? Okay, because I actually have a hard time. He's got a lot of scars on his face. The actor, right? So I wasn't sure. I was thinking maybe it's just
He was mid-40s.
okay, mid-40s. All right.
He's 72 now.
Yes, he's very old now. 'Cause, you know. All right, so mid to early 40s, right? No, it was mid-40s, right?
Mid-40s.
Yeah, and how long has he been doing this?
Since he was
18.
18, 19, yeah. So he's in his mid-40s. He's been doing it since he was like 19. Doing it since he was 19. Okay, all right. So it's a sad life. He's very impressive as a hitman, and in most other ways, pretty sad, right? Okay. One of the other things that I sort of enjoy, if we're gonna kind of start to talk about like this, is okay. Let's see. Okay, this is later. What does he do for fun? Come on.
Why am I feeling when things could look like that nothing could possibly go wrong? This has been
It's a really good performance by this actor.
love has made.
All right, what does he do for fun? Watches really old movies, right? In the morning, in the middle of the day, right? So this is also kind of like, you know, he's kind of, so a lot of people have said that he kind of, Jean Reno plays this role as a kind of man-child. how is he like a man-child?
He kills people and then he kind of just like goes and sits in the heater by himself and wants to do it.
True, true. What else though?
I think he was raised how everybody else was.
Okay, and how do we know?
It's not.
He drinks milk still, right?
I think he kind of had like his childhood stripped from him in a sense.
Yeah, he also, remember he can't read. Right? Right, can't read. At least when Matilda shows up, he can't read. And so there's all these kinds of elements. He seems to have only like simple pleasures, right? Like a kid, right? Can't read. So the movie theater is like simple pleasures, right? He doesn't drink. He doesn't swear. He doesn't hook up with people. He just kind of sits at home, right? As a kind of man-child. He's not that smart either, as we will see. He's very smart when it comes to killing, but other stuff, less smart. But first, let's talk about, all right, let's start to describe what traits make him seem like a bad guy or a sketchy character. What traits undercut that and make him more sympathetic. Go to the next one. We're gonna skip Stanfield for now, okay? Stanfield, I think it is. They call him Stan. We're gonna skip the Stan character for now. No. Oh, what am I doing? Hold on. All right, there we go. What trace is it? Yeah, we've done that. We're gonna skip Stanfield for now, okay? All right. And let's talk about Matilda. What is Matilda's life like? What's that?
She's 12, but she has this extra level of like responsibility and maturity to her.
Yeah. So she's technically in the film, she's 12, but she in a lot of ways seems more adult than Leon, right? So Matilda. She is 12 years old. So think about that. What grade is she in? Is it? I think it's 7th, isn't it?
6, 7.
6th, 7th. Yeah, it's summer, so she's about to head. Either she's heading into 7th or 8th grade, right? Around 7th grade. I was thinking, okay, you start high school when you're about 14, right? And freshman year you turn 15, and then sophomore year you turn 16, right? So she's either 7th to 8th grade, I think. So she's pretty young, but she's pretty mature. What evidence makes her mature?
When her family's killed, she's out buying groceries.
She's out buying groceries. So she actually buys the groceries for the family, right? Buys groceries. She swears like a sailor as well, right? Yeah? Swears. What is she doing when Leon first sees her? She's smoking. Yes. Swears. Smokes. She swears. She smokes. She takes care of her brother, right? She says she's more of a mother to her 4-year-old brother than her own mother, than their his real mother, right? Mothers for your old brother. What else? What's her home life like?
Toxic.
Okay, what's her dad like? Toxic home life. I would say even more than aggressive, abusive, right?
An asshole.
An asshole, right? Toxic home life with an abusive father. When we first see her, not only is she smoking a cigarette, but she's got a big, what? Yeah, bruise, I guess. Yeah, bruise on her eye. And the very next day, when Leon sees her again and she offers to buy him milk, she's got a bloody nose, right? Okay, so she's got an abusive father that beats up on her. What else? What has her father done?
Steals drugs.
Stolen drugs from not just any drug lord, but
A corrupt agent drug lord.
a corrupt DEA agent drug lord, right? D agent says, find who stole our drugs by noon tomorrow. And he just kind of hangs out and beats on the kids, right? Right? So it's the father's fault that the whole family got murdered. All right. What is Matilda like? How does she compare with Leon? So her whole family gets murdered, including her 4-year-old brother. That's the one she really cared about, right? She doesn't care that her dad got killed. She doesn't care that her stepmom got killed. She doesn't care that her half sister got killed. She just cares that her brother got killed, right? Also, look at how she kind of, this is an important scene, I think we could look at to kind of tell us a bit more about both Leon and Matilda, okay? So we have to talk about Stanfield because he's such a famous. All right, let's see.
He said, go back inside. It's better if we go inside.
Look what you did. You killed a 4-year-old kid. Did you really have to do that?
He was open the door. Please.
All right, tell me about this scene. What does it tell you about Matilda? What does it tell you about Leon?
She's desperate for help.
She's desperate for help. She comes back from getting groceries. She sees her father in a pool of blood and hears them talking about how they've killed her 4-year-old brother. She puts her head down and keeps walking.
Definitely smart.
Like, right? Like, she's 12.
That's not cold. That's cold.
She's pretty, like, I mean, she's not that cold because she's crying, right?
Nah, that's cold.
Like, she's very, how do we, what do we, savvy?
Shelley said
Savvy?
fight
Street
or
smart?
flight.
I said fight or flight.
Okay. But she also does, she wants Leon to help her go after all the people that killed her family. So she's into it for revenge, right? As well as some other stuff, right? So she's, Gary called her cold, smart. She's crying and she's like knows that they're gonna kill her next, right? So she's very self-aware and she's good at
Observe it.
taking care of herself. Yes, I mean, these are all good. Yes. Observant, self-aware. She's slick almost, right? Savvy is what I was gonna say, like, you know, street smart, all these things. Like, she is the presence of mind when her family is murdered to realize, put it together quick. Like, if I go in there, they're gonna kill me next. I gotta keep it together and go to Leon's store. Right? And she's breaking down and crying, and you get that sense that the door opens up and the light goes on her face, and she's like, relief. And then I mean, Portman does a really good job, right? This is Natalie Portman's first role, and she did it when she was 12, and she basically like became a star because of this, right? Yeah. Okay, it is Natalie Portman. I know, it's crazy, right? All right. What does this tell us about Leon as well? He lets her in, but he hesitated for kind of a long time, right? Yeah. So again, we get this blend of cold for hesitating, but eventually he caves and lets her in, right? Okay, good. All right. So Matilda, what is the relationship between Leon and Matilda like? Eventually.
She says, I love you a lot. He doesn't really reciprocate.
Yeah, right. Where are you? Where are you? Really? Did I? Hold on one sec. All right. So I have, what is the relationship between Matilda and Leon? Does it make you uncomfortable? Is it problematic? Can you think of a scene where you like started to get like creeped out?
When she was in the bed and started saying her stomach feels warm.
Yeah. Okay, so she says, I think I love you, Leon, right? But even before that, let's see. Even before that, right? So that he's teaching her how to be assassin, right? This one.
Exactly what you need. Let's play a game. I have this great game. Makes you think and it helps your memory. It's exactly what you need. Like a virgin, touch for the very like a virgin. Okay, who is it?
Was that?
That was Madonna.
Yes, it's supposed to be Madonna, but also problematic, right?
Birthday, Mr. President.
I don't know.
Who's that? Marilyn Monroe.
Oh my God. Charlie Chaplin.
Mustache.
They had a similar mustache.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a beauty.
Gene Kelly?
Good.
What does this tell us about
Your
Leon?
turn now.
Just trying.
He's trying, and also he's still kind of dumb, right? Like he's not that smart, right?
Okay, Pilgrim.
Clint Eastwood? I don't know, I give up.
John Wayne.
I was just about to say that, I swear. It's
What did you think of this
amazing.
scene?
Leon, really brilliant.
What do you think? Like, it's funny, right? It's funny because like his John Wayne is actually pretty spot on. And John Wayne, I just never noticed he walked so weird, right? Or he was weird. He always looked like he was about to fall over when he walked. Yeah. Anyway, it's a pretty good French guy's interpretation of John Wayne. It's funny, but it's also like inappropriate, right? Cringy, right? Like with her singing Madonna and then Marilyn Monroe. Ugh. Suddenly, and like you can tell he's a bit uncomfortable. Why is he uncomfortable?
But she's 12.
Because she's 12, right? And he's kind of like, of that, like, ooh. All right. And then here is the scene that Dylan was talking about. Okay, let's see. All right, this one. Oh, JK, sorry, this is the end of the scene.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of falling in love with you. It's the first time for me, you know?
How do you know it's love if you've never been in love before?
Because I feel it.
Where?
Ew. Right?
In my stomach. So warm. I always had a nut there. And now it's gone.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't have a stomachache. I don't think it means anything. Later we would hit the name over.
All right, so we've got that, right? Leon, again, it's like, it's hard to understand what, like, he is like a man-child trapped in a 40-year-old's body, right? Because he's like, she says, I feel it, and he says, where? And that's so creepy. But then he kind of dials it back. Oh, Matilda, I'm glad you don't have a stomachache anymore. I don't think it means anything, right? John Reno plays this in a really interesting way. In the original script, okay, are you ready for this?
Please, no, hold on.
Okay, all right, I will stop. Yeah, tell me.
Can you disclaim with what's about to happen before it
Like-
happens, please?
Like for real.
When I what?
Sugarcoat it, please sugarcoat it.
It doesn't happen in the film. In the film, there is a scene that's ambiguous
I don't
and
even know what
weird.
that means.
Ambiguous means like it's not really clear what it means, honestly.
Well, when you put
It
her
could
in
have
the
happened,
tribute,
it couldn't have happened, it's up in the air.
So this is the short version because a lot of scenes didn't test well for American audiences. I know, right? Even Roger Ebert was like, yeah, it's a good movie, but she's 12.
Who's Robert Ebert?
Roger Ebert, you guys know him. Roger Ebert gives it 2 thumbs up.
What?
He's like the biggest film critic of the thing.
I
Anyway,
need him.
we have to talk about this.
Relax. Everything's fine. Sleep well?
I never really sleep. When I open movies,
I forgot. No, I never saw someone with one eye open snore so much.
I snore.
Like a baby. I'm gonna go get some milk for breakfast. I won't be long.
Okay. What do you notice?
they were in bed together.
They were in bed together. And as she stands up, she pulls up those boxer shorts. Oh, right. In this version for Americans, they had cut out a different scene. But basically, all right.
Hold
You're not ready. All right, so the director, Luc Besson. I'm gonna go at it that way. The director, Luc Besson. Do you guys know what else he directed? You guys never heard of La Femme Nikita?
on.
Yeah, he directed that. That was his breakout hit. And then he did this one because he was waiting for Bruce Willis to get off a project so that they could film The Fifth Element. Okay, so Luc Besson is kind of like the big deal Steven Spielberg of France. Like he's kind of a big deal. And this was his like American kind of breakout. All right. However, he is a problematic individual, okay? So he met this girl who has gone on to become an actress and a filmmaker. He met her when she was 12. They started dating when she was 15. She had his baby at 16. And then he dropped her for the female lead of The Fifth Element.
I love that.
Right? At the time he was 29. Ugh. Right? So he is kind of,
Out there?
I mean, I would probably, I think I would be okay calling him a pedophile. Yeah. And there are definite pedophilia kind of overtones here, right? Was that? Yeah, right. Especially because of this scene, like, okay, so in the original script, which Besson wrote, Luc Besson wrote the original script, they are supposed to be lovers. And at one point, I know, they're all supposed to be sleeping together in the original script. Eventually, Leon kind of gives in to her seduction in the original script. She's 12, inappropriate, right? Jean Reno was not okay with that, but the guy who plays Leon, he really was not okay with that. And he's trying to play it as a kind of big brother, father type figure, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of scenes where Natalie Portman, like, she talks about being a virgin and she says she asked him to take her virginity, and that scene did not test well for American audiences, and they cut it out. As is all, like, yeah.
What was her mom?
Dead.
No.
No, her real life mom. Her real life mom. her real life parents were trying. I don't think they were very naive. They're not Hollywood people. She was kind of like discovered and she thought modeling was boring. So she decided this is like her first movie and they were very naive. So like they did things like, look, Natalie can't actually like smoke. All the scenes of her with a cigarette are like, you know, right, she's not actually smoking the cigarette, she just like looks like she's smoking. But I think that like a lot of the I don't know what it takes to film a movie, but they missed a lot of stuff. What happened to Natalie Portman after this film? She did grow up, but before she grew up,
Sorry.
what is that?
I know her as Jane Foster.
From Thor, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and she was in early Star Wars. She was in V for Vendetta. Like, yeah, okay. So in some of the original scripts, he walks in on her in his shower. They eventually have sex. The director is a problem. If you want to know, I'm going to put this PowerPoint online, and you can watch some of the deleted scenes. In one of them, she gets drunk in a restaurant. In the deleted scenes, there's almost like half an hour of deleted scenes. He actually brings her on a job, and she helps to kill people. It's like he trains her much more. But Natalie Portman has spoken about how she was sexualized based on this film. So the film came out and she was very excited. Remember, she comes from a non-Hollywood family. She got her first piece of fan mail and she opened it up and she talks about it being a rape fantasy. Right? And all the critics were talking about her budding breasts in this film. Right? And so like she says like basically like she opens up about experiencing sexual terrorism after starring Leon. Okay, so I think that like according to the director / writer of this film, we're supposed to think Leon is like a good, like, you know, an anti-hero, a hitman with a heart of gold, a compassionate killer, right? But there's all these subtexts that the director is totally fine with that makes Leon even more of a problematic anti-hero, right? Make sense? Especially the kind of walking the line of inappropriate relationship with a 12-year-old girl, right? Right? All right. So in the bed scene, in the extended version, they don't sleep together. He basically tells her like, no, I'm never gonna sleep with you in the deleted scene. And she's like, well, then at least sleep in the bed. And he's like, okay, I will sleep in the bed. Right. And then she gets like, you know, because he doesn't allow himself to sleep in beds. He sleeps in chairs with one eye open, he says, right? All right, this is what happens at the end. So the DEA agent comes after them, right? Again, she's out getting groceries. This poor kid is never going to get groceries again. All right. And the police are after him because he keeps lots of people. So Leon has killed a bunch of Stanfield men. Matilda went and confronted Stanfield in his office. I haven't talked about Stanfield. But this is sort of the end, okay?
Take this. Go take a look. See anything? It's the guy. He's here. He's got a gun in my head. Okay, nobody moves. Let the girl go.
Now take it easy, man.
Let the girl go.
Okay, the girl's coming out.
Let the girl go. Run the axle door. Over there. Go. Yes.
more evidence of like, just like how like, yeah, he just casually takes out a SWAT team. And he's just got like one, boo-boo in his arm, right? Okay.
Turn the fucking water off.
Go.
We're the bad way here. Send the cats. I repeat, send the cats.
What happened?
Stay away from the window.
They get to the kitchen.
Get this fucking asshole out of there.
So they're trapped in their little city apartment, right?
How are we gonna get out of here then?
We're checking out.
It's not big enough for you. It's barely big enough for you.
What's that long discussion?
No, I'm not letting. I'm not going. I won't go. I won't go.
Listen to me. Listen. We have no chance together, but if I'm wrong, I can go. Trust me, I'm in good shape. Because I know I need a lot of money. Tony, a lot. We'll take it and just to do this, okay?
No. Just saying that door won't work. I want to lose you.
Right. So this bit, I also like feel like if he had spoilers, but you were assigned to watch it, so I don't feel bad. Spoilers, Leon doesn't make it. He almost makes it. He gets so close. And he doesn't make it because of Stanfeld. If he had made it, what do you think their relationship would have been like?
No. Stop.
I'm being honest. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
no.
I mean,
Stop.
she's gotten her way with Leon with everything. She's written that way. Don't get me, I'm not saying that it's like, I realize that's a problematic statement. She's written problematically though. Like, and if he had survived, I feel like, you've changed me. I want to be happy, have roots, sleep in a bed, go baby, go. This is the only time he calls her baby. Go ahead, Dylan.
I think she's a little bit confused.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
She
given
doesn't-
her home life, given the father figures in her life,
Yeah.
I honestly feel like she is kind of,
I remember the scene when she like walked in on her parents.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, she's kind of like grossed out, right? But like also like, yeah, she has had no good people taking care of her or protecting her or even being nice to her ever, right? Leon is nice to her, so she thinks that she should have sex with him. She's mistaking maybe love and caring for sex. I get it, but like he's almost like too immature to actually, I don't know, it's weird, right? Some people have said actually like this makes Leon even better, like a 12-year-old girl is throwing, and not even Leon, a huge serial killer, will have sex with her. That shows he's good. I don't know if that really shows he's good. Yeah, I feel like that's just
Just shows he has morals.
I mean, well, there we go, right? Yeah, there's some lines he refuses to cross, except then at the end kind of, all right. Let me see, what else did I want to get to today? So the relationship between Matilda and Leon, problematic. Are you with me on this? Confusing, problematic, and definitely puts him solidly in anti-hero territory, right? Like, if not like, yeah, I mean, I would just say solidly anti-hero, right? Okay, compare him, Leon, to our actual villain. So Gary Oldman, basically, like, they made this movie in like 2 months. And Gary Oldman was also waiting for the element who's in that one. So he just kind of like ad-libbed everything. This character is just totally his invention, okay? All right, so they're coming to Matilda's house. I know I only have like 5 minutes left. Here he is. Right? Me too, like.
I like these calm little moments before the storm. It reminds me of Beethoven. It's like when you put your head to the grass.
How do his own men feel about him? Remember, they're all DEA agents.
Do you like Beethoven? Couldn't really say.
Howard, right? His family is just getting killed and he just like hides in a corner.
We said no. I've got 1 minute past. You don't like Beethoven. You don't know what you're missing. Overtures like that get my juices flowing. So powerful. But after his openings, to be honest, he does tend to get a little fucking boring. That's why I stopped. Touch the apartment. You're a Mozart fan. I love him too. I love Mozart.
All right, what do you think of this villain?
I remember a scene where they were talking in the hallway. He wasn't there, but they were talking about how he has a sixth sense for like sensing all the lie.
Yes. And then the dad comes out and he actually like goes up to him and sniffs him. Uber creepy. Uber creepy. And actually the actor who plays the dad didn't know he was gonna do that. And so like that is his real reaction, like, oh God, what is this? Right? Like, yes. All right. So, and then this kid, we don't see him die, but like it's heavy. It's heavy shit, right? Okay, Gary Oldman, Stanfield, what do you think he's like? All right, so Leon, remember some of our kind of definitions of anti-hero? Give me 1 second, okay? Some of our definitions of anti-hero, capable of extreme violence in pursuit of their personal code, right? What's Leon's personal code?
He doesn't feel for the
And especially no women, no children, right? Stanfeld,
no settlement.
not bound by that particular code, right? Leon has a kind of code. Machiavellianism, not so much, right, for Leon. Narcissism, no, right? He's not all about attention and stuff like that, right? So this all kind of, the pedophilia threads. Remember, it's not like fully yeah, but that kind of puts him in the anti-hero territory, as well as his assassination stuff, right? Stanfield, this guy, less Machiavellianism, less narcissism, but a whole lot of psychopathy, right? Right? He doesn't feel really bad about what he's done, right? He leaves one of his men there when the cops are showing up, and this is before we know he's a cop, because he's a cop, right? Talk about like acting entitled, like the rules don't apply to you, right? Like he leaves one of his men there, and one of his men is like, what do I tell them? And he's like, tell them we were doing our jobs. Like, and some internal affairs agents come in later, and he's like, I don't have time for this bullshit. Right? I really encourage you to watch it if you haven't already this weekend. And let's see. Stanfield, he kills the whole family, freaking even his own men out. He freaks out about his suit got a hole in it. Like the dad kind of shoots him. And there is some blood running down his arm in later scenes, so he must have gotten nicked, but he's really more concerned about his suit, right? He looks scary. I think he's pretty scary. He's like greasy, but also suited, rumpled, unshaven, weird blend of high class and crazy, right? Stanfield is so effective and scary because his manic unpredictability and blatant evil streak run contrary to how we ever expect the law to operate. It's as if he does not fear being caught, which makes him ultimately terrifying, right? Good? All right, I'm done. I will post my stuff online if you need it. Just because we talked a lot about pedophilia, if it triggered anything, here is the sexual assault hotline, okay? All right. Okay. Have a good weekend. I'll see you Tuesday. Bye. You too, Tyler. All right.